Israel has a big problem on its hands. The truth is getting out, and their lies are crumbling right before their eyes. This all comes as Israel's full invasion of Gaza City is about to unfold, forcibly displacing close to 1 million people, carrying out the systematic demolitions of Palestinian homes, what's left of them. So they absolutely need the full propaganda to be in full swing. Newly leaked data from the Israeli military. This isn't Hamas. This is newly leaked data from the Israeli military. Classified data that was just leaked shows that 83% of every person, man, woman, and child, killed in Gaza has been a civilian. Even Palestinian numbers that have been released from the Palestinian side are not that bad. But that's because Israel has more accurate numbers because they still have buildings and offices and electricity and computers and running water, so they can keep a better tabulation of these numbers. So 83%, you were not meant to see this data. Thanks to the Israeli military, though it's leaked out. Gotta wonder if there's somebody in the Israeli military that's like, people need to see this. And there's been a lot of whistleblowers inside the Israeli military, by the way. This is why Satan himself, Benjamin Netanyahu, again, that's his stage name, is now saying mass censorship of social media needs to take place. The algorithms are the problem on social media, he says. This is how you hide the truth. We need to really fix Gen Z because they're the big problem, he says.
It's very hard to fight the deception, the lies, the starved children, the pictures of starved children who turn out to have cerebral palsy or other congenital diseases that leave them emaciated. And Israel is, of course, accused of starving children. Pretty much the way that in the Middle Ages, Jews were accused of killing Christian children for their blood. So, what do you do against the lie that circles the earth 10 times before the truth has a chance to emerge? You have to shorten the war as speedily as possible. And frankly, we also have to do something about the algorithms and the social networks. This is a big challenge. I don't want to dismiss it.
Yeah, it's a big challenge.
He's right. You can end the war. You can stop it. That's one thing the first thing I've ever agreed with him on.
But the other option is to just use propaganda and hide the algorithms or manipulate the algorithms or get companies to censor content.
Clayton, do you recall being told that Putin did this? That Putin was messing with our algorithm in Twitter?
Oh, yeah.
Do you recall that we were supposed to be upset about that?
Yeah.
Why are we not?
I remember members of Congress saying, Putin's manipulating our algorithms.
Right.
He's manipulating our social media.
But this guy can do it.
But this is fine.
He didn't.
But
we were supposed to be upset about it. But this guy, we're going to let him say that.
Well, he wants to do this because more and more Americans are using the word genocide. A new YouGov poll shows that a majority of Americans, 58% to 33%, believe every country in the United Nations should recognize Palestine as a nation, per a new Reuters Ipsos poll.
Plus, this poll you're seeing here showing that an increasing number of Americans believe that, yes, this is a genocide, what we're seeing before our very eyes. Now, it was floundering around 35%. Now it's pushing upwards towards 50% because we can see it, because we see real reporting, because we don't appreciate the nuance of, yes, that kid was starving, but they already had cerebral palsy. It's still bad to starve a kid with cerebral palsy. We still don't like that.
So I'm sorry. So this kid has a pre-existing condition. That's why, but it's okay to starve him? Like he's starving because of cerebral palsy? Like your logic makes no sense. And so then every child that we've been seeing that's been starving, or the children that you're shooting with sniper rifles, was that child who was like last week, that unbelievable video that went viral of a young boy carrying like a jug of water. Don't worry though, he's probably got a pre-existing condition. So when the Israeli soldiers fired at him to try to kill him, I'm sure it just was like cerebral palsy or something. So it's totally fine. So he wants to do this because more and more Americans are using the word genocide, and you need to control the algorithms to hide the truth, just like shutting down TikTok, of course. It wasn't Chinese, had nothing to do with China, had everything to do with Israel, as Congressman Thomas Massey pointed out on our show. He definitely doesn't want you to see things like this on YouTube. My God, this is not something you want to see on YouTube, right? I mean, this is from the Associated Press, for crying out loud. Look at this. Malnourished children arrive at Gaza hospital as Netanyahu denies hunger. Starvation attacks the bodies of these children in Gaza. From the Associated Press. Oh, there, the bottom from CBS. The children of Gaza. He better get on that and censor that shit fast. Don't want to have that being shared on social media or on our show, which goes out to millions of people. I guess all these starving kids are having pre-existing conditions. It's okay to starve them, according to Milikowski. Now, he doesn't want you to see that on X today, Gaza is one of the top trending topics. That's really upsetting to Milikowski as well. Just type in Gaza and you'll see Israel's destruction and genocide, like this raw footage of TRT capturing Israel's mass destruction of Gaza. The flyover. Look at that. I mean, it looks like a nuclear bomb went off. You might see that. Unfortunately, if you're on social media, so we got to manipulate the algorithms. You might stumble across a child in Gaza having to drink water out of a street water pipe, like this little boy. Like, this is how you can get some fresh. I don't even know if the water's fresh at all, but presumably not since it's open. But at least he's happy. Like, this is a little boy. He just wanted some water, and he's smiling. Maybe you'd see that on social media. That's not good. That's not good for Netanyahu. Or you might see this, like all the aid lines, and Gaza is more than a humanitarian crisis. It's a moral crisis. You might see that. That might bother you, your propaganda machine. Or this, the over 200 members of the press that have been killed. Think about how many people killed in World War I and World War II. Like 3. But Israel's managed to kill a lot of members of the press, over 200. Or this. I'm just going to put this here. Might see that. You might see that on X too, Milikowski.
Is she Hamas?
Oh, probably.
That's how we feel
Clearly.
about this.
She's probably got cerebral palsy, so it's okay. She's probably got some sort of a pre-existing condition, so it's okay.
Or what about the reports from British doctors working in Gaza saying that they are noticing clusters of wounds on different days, as if the IDF has today's knee day, today's abdomen day, that they continue to see on Mondays, all the children coming in with gunshot wounds cluster around one part of the body. Reports of target practice on different days. What about that? Is that these are actually reported?
Yeah.
So yes, what do we do about that? What do we do about knowing that?
Well, and I have friends in Tel Aviv who are furious about this. So, like, this isn't about Israel. This is about a demonic government of Israel led by Netanyahu. Censorship? You're going to tell us what we can put on social media to get the truth out about a genocide? F you.
You probably know this. Microplastics are infiltrating every part of our lives. Scientists estimate that we consume about a credit card's worth of plastic every week through our food, water, the air we breathe. One study found particles in 100% of human lung samples. Nobody is safe from this, and it gets worse. Plastics don't just sit in your body. They cut across the gut lining, leaching into your blood, disrupting your system. They can alter gut bacteria. They've been shown to be, a hormone disruptor. And so, you want this out of your body. Even if you eat clean or unpackaged foods, you're still exposed. But your gut can help you fight back. With Kimchi One by Brightcore Nutrition, this is something that we do take every day. It's packed with over 900 probiotic strains unique to kimchi and proven to break down BPA, helping to detox from the inside out. And it doesn't just support digestion. It helps protect your cells, your brains, your hormone, and your future. Your body was not designed to handle microplastics, but your gut can help filter this out. You just have to have the right tools. So check out Kimchi One at mybrightcore.com/redacted. If you use the code redacted, you get 25% off. Again, that's mybrightcore.com/redacted. You can also call the number on your screen for up to 50% off plus free shipping. So again, mybrightcore.com/redacted. This comment, how many journalists had cerebral palsy?
Oh, I'm sure all of those journalists.
Pre-existing condition.
I'm sure they all have cerebral palsy or some sort of pre-existing condition. That's why so many social media influencers, by the way, open your eyes. Open your eyes. If you see these like social media influencers who are just totally in the tank, or YouTubers that have been invited to Israel recently in the past few weeks, the reason they're doing this is because Israel is losing the PR campaign. Clearly, the lies are being exposed. How can we all get these YouTubers and podcasters to pretend like genocide isn't happening? Because that term is now being shared on social media, so we have to clearly censor it. These influencers get free flights. They get great hotels. They get food and drink. They get to meet Netanyahu himself. They get to, so he can sit there and propagandize with them. They won't be shown any of this, of course. They'll be kept away far from this. They'll get to hang out with Mike Huckabee, U.S. ambassador. They'll get to sit down and have dinner. They're treated like royalty. It's exactly why so many members of Congress were just in Israel getting the royal treatment when they should have been home in their own districts in the United States meeting with their own constituents. Where were they? They were in Israel. It's a great strategy. What happens is then they fly back to the United States and then they go on their podcasts and their YouTube shows and they talk about how great Israel is. But it's failing. Megyn Kelly, for instance, just got the same invitation, but she's not taking it.
But I have absolutely no skin whatsoever in defending any lobbyist group, including AIPAC.
Right.
So I would love to know what they do to get the loyalty of politicians, because I will say I have had multiple reach outs to me, both from friends and from connected people in D.C., begging me to go to Israel with them. And I have said no every time. And my own feelings are, I'm looking at Israel in a different way right now than I was on 10/8, that's for sure, of 23.
Right.
And I can feel the pressure being slightly ratcheted up, like you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to. And I can see people like you, like Tucker, who I know Tucker. I've known him for years. And I've seen you in your early career. I know you have nothing against Israel.
Oh, gosh, no.
Never mind Jews. Yeah. That's all a lie. But,
right.
And I see the beatdowns coming. Like, you're not allowed. Like, you have to stay right on this lily pad.
Yes.
And you cannot jump to another neighboring lily pad because it could take you all the way down the river away.
Well, you're a person of very big influence. You've got a big voice. You've got a large audience. They also take a lot of influencers. They invite tons of influencers.
Many of whom have invited me. Like, we're all going together, and will you come? Like, they seem to be coming at me from a number of ways, which only really kind of raises my hackles. Like, I'm not going. I'm going to stay right here.
I'm not going. Even the mainstream media is not buying the lies anymore. This is why Netanyahu wants to start censoring social media ahead of this big invasion. I'm sure members of Congress are going to start doing his bidding by introducing censorship laws in Congress. Clearly, that's going to happen. ABC's Patricia Karvelas absolutely destroyed Netanyahu's right-hand man, Ophir Falek, after he refused to admit that there was starvation happening in Gaza, even though President Trump, literally on Air Force One, said you'd have to be nuts to say that these children aren't starving. You'd have to be an idiot, frankly, is almost like what Trump said. But he said, no, he said nuts.
You know what? I have to laugh a little that you called him phallic. It says Falk. Phallic, is that a Freudian?
I don't know. Ophir Falek, Falk. Anyway, this is his name.
You know what that word is, right?
I know what phallic means.
Okay.
I know what phallic means.
So I'm just being a fourth grader. And
exactly.
Sorry.
Anyway, so ABC's Patricia Karvelas absolutely destroyed Netanyahu's right-hand man, Ophir Falek. He refuses to admit starvation in Gaza, that Israel is not, and he's also refusing to admit that journalists aren't being let in. Like, really? Are you that fucking stupid? Watch.
And that is the truth that you should be telling, and not the lies of the starvation policy. It's
the
outrageous.
American president says it looks like starvation. The American president, your greatest supporter, has said he thinks starvation is happening in Gaza. So with respect, I don't think that the claims you're making are accepted by the world.
The president of the United States fully backs Israel, and we appreciate that.
He also thinks there's starvation going on.
There is starvation of the hostages. We've seen that.
He said that there's starvation of Palestinian children.
As I've said, the lies have been debunked. Israel does not have a policy of starvation like the Prime Minister of Australia would like you to believe. To the contrary, Israel has a policy of preventing starvation. We've let in over 2 million, or approximately 2 million tons of aid into Gaza. Is that a starvation policy? Come on. Get serious.
We see the images, the world's watching, and it looks like a starvation crisis to me. And all of the independent experts say it's one as well. Why don't you let journalists into Gaza so we can see for ourselves?
Actually, journalists are let into Gaza. There's plenty of journalists coming into Gaza.
There is not plenty of journalists. The world is not able to see what's going on in Gaza. You're constantly contesting. You constantly contest facts, why not let journalists come in to be able to witness this themselves?
You're more than welcome.
You're inviting me to go in?
You're more than welcome.
But this is the thing. It's always under your parameters. I'm talking about the freedom of journalists to go and report with their eyes and to tell the world what they're seeing.
He's like, nope, not going to happen. You can come on one of our PR tours where
we will put you on a leash and walk you around.
Yeah, we'll show you.
That's what I mean.
We'll show you some areas where Hamas on October 7th went across the fence, and we didn't stand down or anything. We didn't even know they were coming. We have one of the most sophisticated intelligence operations in the world, and we didn't even see the guy coming over with a donkey and a paraglider. Like I don't know. We were just out to lunch that afternoon. We'll show you where they came in and attacked our military outposts along the line on October 7th. You want to go see that, and then you can feel really bad?
Now, something I brought up in the newsletter this morning is that Israel is calling up 60,000 reservists, but they still have a troop shortage. They're saying it's because the Orthodox don't serve, because that's against their religion. So what they're saying now, multiple Israeli outlets are saying they are going to target Jewish youth in the U.S. and France to serve in the IDF. So think about this. You're of Jewish descent or Jewish faith. You've never been to Israel, but they will sign you up for their military. This is a foreign military saying, yes, you might be American or French, but your allegiance is ultimately to Israel. Imagine that. This is something that drives Dan Cohen absolutely batshit crazy. Imagine Italy telling Italian Americans, you need to serve in our army because of your Italian blood, because of your ancestry. Well, they're claiming global military conscription rights. Now, you might say, oh, I don't really care. I'm not Jewish, or I'm not going to volunteer for that. But for how long? Consider how far backwards our politicians have bent to allow this war to continue, to facilitate this slaughter. So how long will American politicians allow this to be optional? That's a terrifying question, but it's one worth asking considering how far up Netanyahu's backside our politicians are.
Yeah, it's a great question. Zaida in our Rumble chat says, you guys are making fools of yourselves. And yourselves is spelled with a URSELFS. I think Zaida is exactly right, that the Israelis are making fools of themselves. And I think it's quite obvious that this is happening. I'm just encouraged that finally people are waking up, because the propaganda machine, it's the same thing that we called out with Ukraine, right? When these journalists would go into Ukraine and they would be led around by the Ukrainian, like the SBU, or the CIA operatives who were basically taking CNN journalists, showing them fake bombing sites and pushing out like all sorts of propaganda, stuff that we had to call out here right on this show. One of my favorites, of course, is when CNN was pushing that story, and I think it was in Bucha, where they literally drove by and then you saw the actors who were laying there playing dead. One of them actually got up and walked away. Like that was high. That's the kind of propaganda we're being subjected to right now. Most people are sitting there watching Fox News or CNN, and they're all lying by omission, and you're getting your information in that way, and that's really, really sad. So I'm glad to see people are waking up. So finally, good to see all of that. And so many of you who watch our show.
I feel alone in my outrage about global conscription. You don't feel outraged by that?
About global conscription?
Yes. How crazy is that? It's super crazy to tell someone who's never been to Israel that your allegiance is to us.
Oh, yeah, of course.